I hear there's an explosive moment that we should look at, and I'm gonna look at it now. It's a 3 hour and 5 mark. Here we go. From what I've been told, this guy here he's like the one of the experts with like guns and ballistics when it comes to like, the force. And apparently they say they made him look like a fool, so I just want to watch.
Well, let me start where you finished, about this trajectory, the trajectory analysis that you did. You said that the purpose of your trajectory analysis was to establish the approximate height of the chute.
That's what I said.
Would that be one reason? And the other would be to determine the flight path of the projectile in question.
That is correct.
Okay. So, may I, Your Honor?
Yes.
So, and you used string to do this?
Strings and rods.
Strings and rods. Okay, let's set the rods aside for a second. The strings that you use, the way that you use them is that you affix them to the bullet holes that you saw.
Correct. To try and fix a string, we use like a blue tack.
A piece of gum, essentially. Okay.
It's a good way to say it.
Right.
Piece of gum.
So you took a piece of gum, and if I may approach, let us assume, would you step around here and help me out? Let us assume, for example,
Yeah.
that this witness stand is the vehicle,
Okay.
and you perceive there to be a bullet hole at this location.
Okay.
So demonstrate for me, I know we got the bullet hole string affixed to the bullet hole with a piece of gum here. Tell me how you proceed from there.
If there is a bullet hole in the gum, the next very important item you need is another hole. A good bullet trajectory you need 2 or 3 holes. Give you some idea of the flight path. One hole is very difficult. You can't tell which way the bullet trajectory is coming in.
So again, they're arguing about how could you tell that these guys were shot from the angle, right? From the angle that y'all claim YNW Melly was sitting in that car.
Okay, so let's just to be clear. Any of the analyses that you performed, you did on at least 2 holes that you assumed or concluded represented the flight path of a single projectile, correct?
Correct. If you just remember, they've got the rear windshield completely shattered.
Okay.
So there's no holes in the glass.
Right?
But it's going into the rear seat.
Okay. So one of the holes would be the first hole in the back of the rear seat, and the second hole would be where?
If it goes through, then you have more.
Okay. So the holes that you analyzed with your string and gum were holes that perforated the back of the seat, and you could tell where they exited another part of the seat.
The ones in the seat finish there. Why? Some ballistic into the victim. It didn't continue to the front seat. I know one did, but we're talking about the string area. It ended there. It didn't continue after.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure out where the 2 holes are. One would be the back of the seat, and the other would be the front of the seat. Okay. So those were your 2 holes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, take us from there. You have one hole in the front of the seat, right? And you have a hole in the back of the seat. The seat might be wider. And you affix the string on which side of the hole?
Whichever area you can attach the gun to. Is it possible to do that? Usually it's on the outer area.
Well, if it's on the outer area, how are you sure that you have identified the correct trajectory as it relates to the hole in the front of the seat?
Swing is for this part, and then you can use rods for the other. You have to push it all the way through.
So there you would push the rod through the hole. It will come out on the other side, the front side of the seat, which would indicate to you the trajectory. And then you affix the string on the back of that rod, and then you extend backwards. Okay, and that's how you proceeded.
Generally speaking.
So there was no string that was affixed to the back of the seat that was not done so in relation to a rod that had been put through the hole.
Right, because the string is too fragile to go through.
Understood.
The reason why I use rod to string. The string is because you've now have an area to attach to, so then the gun will go from this way.
Okay, but the angle that you extend the string backward is dictated by the rod that has been put through the hole and meets the other hole in the front. That's a yes?
That's,
You don't sound
Say
sure.
it again, so you say, say it again.
The angle that you extend that string backward from the back of the seat is dictated by the angle of the rod that has gone through that hole to the hole in the front.
You're saying that the angle from the rod is dictated by
The angle of the string is dictated by the angle of the rod that you had already placed through that hole,
okay,
right?
I agree with that.
That is, I'm not the expert, you tell me. Is that what happened?
No, I agree with you.
Well, is that what you did?
I don't remember now, but I
Wouldn't you
remember the
have?
swing part. I
Excuse me.
remember.
I'm sorry.
One at a time. man.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Can't talk over one
That's,
another.
that's my fault. No, don't go. I need you here. I understand if you are having failing recollection. This was a while back. But as a scientific matter, would it not have to be the angle of that string coming out, at which you extended, would it not have to be dictated by the angle of the rod that you have placed in there? Would it have to
You
be?
can make a difference. But you have to remember, bullets don't always go completely straight. Bullets twist, turn, up and down. So your theory is, it's possible, but anything can happen with bullet trajectory. Flight path doesn't always go smooth and straight.
I understand that, okay. And I assume it's not,
To try and determine from just two holes with no exterior, it's difficult.
okay. So you're up against a difficult task, let's concede that, right? And in performing that task, how, if you didn't dictate the angle that you extended that string backward by the rod that was placed inside, how would you know what angle to extend backward?
I don't know exactly.
How do you know anything?
So, to kind of give you a little bit of what's kind of going on here, they basically ask him how he does his job. This is the guy who seems to be either overseeing, I mean, somebody else testified about the rods, but he's talking about kind of creating all these trajectories of where the bullets went, right? And, you know, there should be two distinctions. Hey, these were the first bullets, but sorry. The first bullets were fired by the position of where Melly was sitting, and then there were bullets fired outside the car when they were trying to stage the drive-by. So they fired some into the left side and some from the back. Now they're asking him how he came up with all these trajectories. The guy's fumbling a little bit. It seems like he has a speech problem, or he might be a little bit older. I don't know. But again, remember, this is really big for the prosecution to say, well, this nigga Melly did it.
Guess what?
An approximate angle, the height is what I'm looking at.
But I mean, the height's dictated by two things. The angle that that string extends backward, and the location of the person who fired.
Correct.
Okay, so if I'm Shaquille O'Neal,
Yes.
I could fire from here, and I would be up here. And if I were Gary Coleman,
Pardon me?
Objection, counsel testifying.
and if I were Gary Coleman, remember different strokes? Short guy, okay. If I was a short guy, and I was firing from here, it would create the same angle as it would if I were Shaquille O'Neal back here. True or
No,
false?
that's a very interesting thing.
Okay.
Especially from a defense attorney. But you have to remember, people shoot, if you, normal people expect people to shoot at high level, right? But who knows what you're gonna shoot at? You can shoot down here, you can shoot like this. So it's never, you know, your theory, oh, it's gotta be this way, it has to be this way. You don't know unless you actually there witnessing the shooting and an angle of how the gun was held. So your theory is, I think it's possible.
Right.
You shot here, you shot there.
Ah, thank you. So, let me clarify. If I have two people, one is 4 feet 8,
Right.
one is 6 foot 2.
Okay.
Let us assume for purposes of my example that they both are extending the firearm at the same angle from their bodies,
Right.
from their respective bodies, okay?
Gotcha.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation. Counsel is testifying.
Why don't you come side?
This is a sidebar.
It is at the same angle as somebody,
Like this.
who is this tall. Can we agree on that fundamental principle?
I agree.
Okay. And as you correctly stated, there are even more variables. That is, and I wasn't trying to outsmart you, couldn't do that. They could be firing at one angle, could be firing at another angle, at any variety of angles. So in order to determine the approximate height, which was what you were attempting to do,
Excuse me, turn off the phone, please.
which is what you're attempting to do, right?
That's what I was attempting to do.
Okay.
Answer your question.
At least approximate.
Approximate.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if it was a tripod, moving, I don't know.
Okay.
So it's one part of it.
So now we have several variables. What angle the person is holding the gun,
Correct?
how far back they are,
Correct.
and how tall they are.
Good. 3 factors.
3 factors.
Yeah.
So with all those 3 variables, which one did you know?
I did not know.
You didn't know any.
I did.
So would you agree with me that when you have 3 variables at a minimum, there are probably more that we haven't considered, 3 variables that affect your analysis, none of which you know, you would agree with me that your exercise was essentially a futile one?
Well, you have a good point. Could it be inaccurate? No.
Holy shit. They got the fucking prosecution witness up there saying that this shit was futile. Nigga, what? Nigga, y'all don't have no witnesses. What you mean? What you mean? Well, nigga, what? Nigga, how you gonna agree that this shit was worthless? Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Nigga, what?
Could be.
And the other parts of the exam as well, we've not mentioned.
That would even create more possible inaccuracies, right?
You don't know, so would you try to work out what happened?
This is crazy.
Who was shooting? Approximate time.
Imagine talking to ops and sweet talking them so good. They're like, "You got a good point, nigga." What?
Approximate time.
Understood. You said you don't know everything. In this scenario, you don't know anything, correct?
I agree with you now. I didn't know anything about what happened.
Okay.
I never saw the video. I never wasn't on scene.
Okay. So knowing nothing and embarking upon essentially a futile exercise, knowing nothing going in means that coming out of that exercise, you know nothing. Correct?
Well, the way you say it makes it appear that way. Maybe.
Make it appear different for me.
Oh shit.
Moment.
Yo, I need that Asian. I need that Asian bro to think. I need this as a soundboard. By the way, where my soundboard niggas at, man? All my soundboard niggas like left me because I need my hit different soundboard. I need this as a soundboard right here, Chad.
Up on the tables or what?
Oh, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. Same thing. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Yeah. The nigga said, make it sound different. Nigga, what?
Well, what I'm saying is, if there are several variables that affect your experiment, none of which you...
Witness resume his seat and Mr. Howard...
By the way, Beefy Bitcoin, thank you for the $50. I ain't forget about you. You said the street and trenches have young men speaking for them now. Why do we need to have an 80-year-old president, dementia patient running the country? We not going to get reparations. The Asians and Hispanic will never vote for it. Trump 2024. I guess he's talking about the Meek Mill situation about, there's new street rappers speaking for their experiences kind of shit, right? All right, let's get back to this trial. God damn.
Sure, I'm sorry. Please, resume your seat. I don't mean to be...
Hey, I'm going to keep it a bean with you. This is a good strategy by him. The moment he got this old geriatric fuck out of the witness chair, he got that dude a little frazzled. The dude standing there, he's looking him eye to eye. He's showing him shit, and I think the dude just cracked.
Theatrical.
Excuse me, guys.
Look, you could tell this nigga don't give a fuck. You could tell, he probably be like, I'm just trying to finish out this year. I'm going to collect my pension. This shit is over. He don't give a fuck what he's saying on the stand now.
Kelly and Allison, just resume asking your question.
Thanks.
Somebody said, is Bortland locked up? No, Bortland's on bail. And actually, this trial isn't for Bortland. This trial only for Melly.
If you're engaged in an exercise that requires you to know certain factors, and you know none of them.
Oh, shit.
So your question is...
I'm sorry. Come side for a second.
Yo, the judge even trying to save him like, yo, come on, yo. You know this nigga old as shit. Why are you trying to cook this nigga right now, bro? Here we go.
Engage in an exercise that requires you to know certain variables, and you know none of them.
Bro, the fuck nigga is not in his head. The fuck nigga is not in his head. How the expert is saying that he don't know nothing? Nah, this is crazy.
Strike that. The exercise in which you were engaged requires you to know certain variables.
Embarrassing. Oh, I need that soundboard too. I need embarrassing. I need it hit different. And I need, I'm getting cooked right now.
Correct.
It does require you to, if you know the variables, it certainly will help you, yes.
And if you don't know the variables, any of them, then you cannot perform an accurate test.
It's difficult to perform an accurate result if you do not know all the variables, correct?
Okay. I just want you to change one word in that statement. It's impossible, not difficult. It's impossible.
Objection arguments to.
Sustained.
Yo, the defense attorney is giving this nigga the beats. He's putting words in his mouth. No. Fuck difficult. Say this with me. It's impossible, pussy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is it possible?
Well, anything is possible. Huh? It's like you may have cheated on your bar exam. I don't know. Possible? I didn't say always, but it's possible.
Right.
Anything is possible.
All right, now let's bring it back to what I was just saying. Is it possible to conduct an accurate trajectory analysis if you do not know the height of the person involved?
I disagree with you, because flight trajectory doesn't always come down to height of issue, it's also angle.
Okay. So if you know the distance at which the person was, and you know the trajectory.
Hey, thank you for the $5 trailblazing. You said, is the other dude locked? Oh, no, I answered already. Yeah, no, he's on bail. So Bortland's the other dude. He's on bail.
Trajectory, then you can determine a height. Right?
It's possible.
Niggas sound like Kevin Garnett. Anything is possible. Let me get that too. I need this. I need all these as soundboards. I ain't even gonna hold you. This is how that nigga sound on that shit. He sound like this nigga.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
This is how that fucking nigga sound right now. What the fuck?
Yes.
Okay. And if you don't know the distance, and all you know is the trajectory, which you are approximating to begin, it's impossible to determine anything that's useful to an investigation. If the answer is yes, just say yes.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't think it's impossible. It's still a sound valid forensic work, in my opinion. And you can say what you like. You can tell the children what you like.
Call Dago.
But you wasn't there.
Call Dago, man.
You
Call
say
Dago.
Anything's possible.
Call
Maybe,
Dago.
but we still don't know exactly what happened.
Call Dago.
You have anything you want to add to that?
Susan?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Man, this nigga getting cooked right now. Now we gonna talk about Boosie.
You also conducted, I believe, a swab of Mr. Cortland Henry's hands, did you not?
Swab from his hand, you said?
I'm sorry, let me ask you this. Did you conduct a swab that of Cortland Henry from any part of his being?
From Cortland Henry, I collected oral swabs for DNA.
Okay. You didn't do any swab on his hands at all?
We did the GSR
Okay.
collection.
Okay, so that you don't refer to that as a swab.
Correct.
I'm sorry. So you did a GSR. You attempted to do something to his hand to determine whether or not he had GSR.
The purpose of GSR will give you an indication if you fired a weapon or you've been in close contact to when a weapon was discharged.
And you conducted a test on site,
Correct. Called presumptive test.
a presumptive test. And you also sent, what is the thing that you sent back to the lab for the other test?
That is the Tritech evidentiary gunshot residue collection kit for the scanning electronic microscope, which is valid in court. It's a scientific test.
And your presumptive test showed negative.
Correct.
And you know that a lab test showed positive.
Outside the
That is
scope,
correct.
objection.
Sustained.
Let me ask you this. Was your
Chad, I see you, boy.
test accurate?
Objection, Your Honor, outside the scope.
Motion aside.
Another side. Here they go.
Sustained.
Can I have him identified?
Correct.
I want you to tell me if those are both parts of reports that you authored.
Nothing to do with bullet flight.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
And I can explain, as I'm trying to explain to the jury, you need 2 to 3 bullet holes through 1, 2, 3 to give you some indication. If there's just one bullet hole, it's not, how can I say, it's just no real forensic tests to detect.
Yo, I know an alcoholic when I see him. This nigga be off that hand rock when he probably drink whiskey or gin. When he not at work, you can tell he looking for his pension, bro. He's melded in, bro. He's looking for his pension. He's off a lot of whiskey and gin when he not at work, bro. He barely know what's going on. Like, trust me.
Determine a proper bullet flight path if you only have one hole.
Okay. So the indications 5'10", 5'3", 5'1".
Nah, you're right. Nah, this is Jack Daniels. This is Jack Daniels right here. Somebody said Heineken. Nah, he don't look like a Heineken guy.
10 are approximate heights.
Sustained. Sure. Step aside.
Damn, another one of these. Anyway, shit. Apparently, this was just a fucking freak show. This dude got cooked the whole time. And I think this was probably the biggest win that Melly's taken. This guy who's an expert, I don't know who put him on there on the stand, but he was the guy who took the swabs or took some evidence when Bortland first went in. But apparently he just completely just got cooked the whole time. There's some other things that I want to kind of get to.